So the Astros have spoken with Joe Espada, and Dana Brown even said that he cannot talk to anybody until their process is through. We'll see about that. And what does the starting rotation look like going into spring training? Who do they expect to be back by July? And some self prescribed needs, according to Dana Brown, on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chancey.
Hey there, welcome in everybody. This is Htown Wheelhouse here with Locked On Astros, your team every day. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. You can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, be coming every day, or make us your first listen every single day. Find us on Apple, Google, Spotify. It's free and easy to download. Just listen to us on the way to work, on the way home from work. And today's episode is brought to you by Jace Medical. Empower yourself with the purchase of a Jace case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50 plus infections. Go to jacemedical.com today. I'm flying solo again tonight. Eric, unfortunately, cannot be with us. He is under the weather. He sends his regards and tells everybody he'll be back when he's able to. So we put Eric on the IL. It's a 10-day IL. It's retroactive a few days ago. So that just means hopefully he'll be back Sunday. If he can make it tomorrow night, he will. But we will hold the fort down here, you and I, until Eric the Man Huysman gets back. So thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Astros. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world of baseball. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the fact that they did interview Joe Espada, that Dana Brown has basically said he can't talk to anybody until we finalize our process, which isn't factually true, according to Chandler Rome. Also, what are the Astros' self-prescribed needs, according to Dana Brown? And the starting rotation, what does it look like going into spring training? And Garcia and LMJ, they expect them back in July. How does that impact the rotation? So on and so forth, and a couple things. So before we launch into Joe Espada, there are some things I want to make sure that you guys and girls are aware of, because we love to support our team. A couple items of importance. Number one, you need to go vote for Mauricio Dubon for Platinum Glove. Quite frankly, I think he deserves it. He got nominated for 2 positions. He only got the Gold Glove for 1, but hey, this guy did a phenomenal job. And if anybody out there is deserving of a first-time Gold Glove and even maybe a Platinum Glove, well, I said that twice, remix, Platinum Glove, then Mauricio Dubon, I think, deserves your vote. You may think that someone else needs it, but I think Mauricio Dubon is definitely worthy of that. And also, another thing going on, go to MLB.com and vote for your Astros to make the All-MLB team. You can vote for Alvarez, Altuve, Bregman, Tucker, McCormick, Valdez, Verlander, Presley, and Abreu. You can vote for them. I'm going to mention them again, and I'm going to talk to you about why their self-prescribed needs are as such. And so those are some things you need to take care of. Go to MLB.com. You can vote for both the All-MLB team, and you can vote for Dubon for Platinum Glove winner. That would be great. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Thank y'all. Someone right here, Miss Eglin said, I'm watching you and CMA. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And a big shout out to the 956, the Rio Grande Valley, who's always watching. Thank you, Mr. JRDZ. I appreciate you. And yeah, we heard today that the Angels did hire manager Ron Washington. So he's out of the picture. Dana Brown has said that they've only interviewed one internal candidate. That was Joe Espada. The interesting thing about the Joe Espada candidacy is they refused to say that he was the front runner. They gave him all kinds of compliments of why he should get the job, what he's been able to do, all these things, but they just quite simply can't find it in their heart to say Joe Espada is the man for the job. I think we both know where we stand on this, that Joe Espada deserves the shot. And it was very mysterious, or not mysterious. It was just odd that Jim Crane would say he wants to go out and get a bigger name. To me, that's kind of a cut at Joe Espada. Joe Espada has been holding place, has been holding the line and staying put for a reason. And maybe all this other stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm buying the Ausmus stuff. I think the Ausmus stuff is smoke, if I'm being quite honest. I don't know how serious that is. This guy wants to be a GM. There's no way he's going to take a manager job if he actually interviewed for the GM job and then take a lower job as a manager. And I don't know. Like, something about the Ausmus hire that I just don't like, that just doesn't sit well with me. Look, you guys and gals may like him. I'm just not a big fan of that. JJ says Maldi should ride off into the sunset with Dusty. Hey, I want Maldi to stay around and be a coach on this team, to be quite honest with you. I want him to be a bullpen catcher. I want him to be a pitching coach. Maldonado has the tools and the mentality to be that person. Someone's saying that they hear that there's bad food at the GM meetings, possibly ending early. Now, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a joke or if you're just making fodder for our conversation. But Dana Brown has been spoken to, and there are candidates that have been talked to and interviewed to this point that are close to Dana Brown, that have ties to Dana Brown. I'm assuming that it would be people like Weiss. It would be maybe the guy we mentioned yesterday, Ray Montgomery, although there's not been any confirmation from the Astros on that. So there's just a lot of stuff going on with that. Paige says Espada or Nada. Well, Nada would be a good count. I'm joking. I get who that is. Yes, Crane is cutthroat. Bree says this. Crane is cutthroat. Yeah, I know he wants the best, but who says Joe isn't the guy? Team chemistry goes a long way. I think if they do move on from Joe Espada and go somewhere else, it's going to be somewhat of a shocker. It is odd that they do diss Espada and he would be good. Maldonado would be a perfect coach. Yeah, like I'm saying, Maldi would be a great coach. These catchers, when I got to hang out with Yainer Diaz at the Uber Edo event during the season, I talked a lot with his agent, and Mr. Antune told me that Diaz is so smart and knows baseball so well that one day, whenever Yainer Diaz is done playing baseball, that he's going to be a manager in Major League Baseball. And I thought that was really cool. And I'm hoping we're able to connect with them in this offseason. Some people have mentioned Benji Gill. I don't know. He's not really on the radar of anybody. That is an interesting name. He is a former catcher. So there's no telling where a lot of this stuff is going to go. But on the show today, after this manager talk, we're going to talk about what the Astros needs are. Before we talk about those needs, we need to look at where we are financially and what that means. And I want to show y'all a picture that I saw on Twitter that I thought was interesting, actually on Instagram, and I'll post it here. It's going to cover my face up, so it'll look a little odd. There's an Instagram post. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's Yordon Alvarez's Instagram page. It's in a picture of him and Luis Robert Jr. when they were playing 12U baseball. Yeah, they were 12 in that picture. Everyone's like, what is Yordon trying to say? Is he saying that Luis Robert Jr. is coming here? I don't think that's the case, but it was a very interesting picture. And of course, anytime an athlete posts this, it brings up a lot of speculation. So this episode is actually brought to you by Jace Medical, and we're going to hear from them before we move on to our next segment. We spent a lot of time talking together, you and I, getting fired up over wins and losses, and I'm thankful for that connection that we have, and I want to make our chat a little bit more personal. I just learned that you can get a 1-year supply of ED medications. You realize what that means. Bring on the extended travel, bring on the next natural disaster, or even supply chain issue. You are covered, my friend, and you don't have to worry about whether or not you can get a refill on your generics like Cialis, Viagra, or Rivado prescriptions. So go online right now to jacemedical.com and receive your 12-month supply on your daily medication. A verified customer had this to say about Jace. I'm thankful for this service. The supply chain issues caused me to cut my pills in half, and so I had to find somewhere to order my daily meds. I also ordered an antibiotic kit as well. The prices are lower than local pharmacies, and I loved it. If you or someone you love needs a peace of mind having a year supply of their daily medication, go to jacemedical.com to see if it's offered. Use promo code LOCKED ON for $20 off your purchase. All right, thank you. And that is, again, brought to you by Jace Medical. That's a great thing. The promo code is right there, locked on for $20 off your purchase with Jace Medical. So where do the Astros stand and what is their self-prescribed needs? Before we talk about that, this is an interesting thing for us to talk about because we see, like, you have to know where the Astros are financially before you can really talk about this. I'm trying to pull this up here so I can look at the screen and talk to you guys and girls at the same time. So when we look at the Astros, where they are, the first luxury tax threshold, this competitive balance tax in 2024, is set at $237 million. So Cott's contracts currently projects Houston's 2024 CBT payroll to be $235,168,810. Roster Resources estimates it at $231,396,032. Crane has gone past the tax once during his ownership. He absorbed Zach Greinke's massive salary in that blockbuster trade in 2019. And such a scenario is what Brown referenced and should not be forgotten when discussing Crane's history with financial commitments that they see or that they see this club to have. Now, here is what Dana Brown has said about where they are as far as what they need. Brown said that we have got offensive production out of Alvarez and McCormick and others. Let me pull this up. I believe I have the quote. And I don't have the quote, so I'm just going to read it to y'all. Sorry. We do get offensive production out of Alvarez, McCormick, and also Dubon. I think we can catch the ball defensively. I'd rather focus on getting more depth in the rotation or getting stronger in the bullpen or getting the backup catcher. The backup catcher and the bullpen are priorities. But if we get an opportunity to add a legit starter or better, we'll definitely be in the mix for that. Okay. He said, I think Jim understands that this team is in good shape. And I think Jim understands that we beat the Rangers 12 out of 20 times. We beat them 12. They beat us 8. We're competitive. We're just as good as the Rangers. We came up short. Losing those last 2 home games was a killer, of course, but we're definitely in a position to go back and win the division and get deep into the postseason again. We have a good team. I really believe in this team. Now, let me ask y'all to put in the comments what you guys think about Dana Brown's words. He's saying, what is the penalty for going over the cap? I'll have to look that up real quick. Yeah, we are rich. We're one of the top 5, I believe, payrolls in Major League Baseball. But what do y'all think about the words of Brown? He said, look, we're competitive with the Rangers. I mean, wouldn't you think that if the Rangers didn't win the division, but yet they won the World Series, that would catapult a sense of urgency into the forefront of this team where Crane says, we're going to go get a starter. We're going to go get another bona fide position player or bullpen guy if we're not going to sign Neris. I mean, to me, if you're going after a middle relief guy, you've got one in Neris. Pay the man. You paid Montero. If you're going to pay Montero, why not pay him? I would put Montero with another couple other players, package him, pay half his salary, and that way you're only paying half of what he's worth. I think the $11 million would still be under your ceiling as far as that goes, but it is just I don't know. I mean, with them not having much room, it's hard to say. I am looking this up real quick because I am not sure. I should have looked that up before the show. So for the first violation is 20%. The second consecutive violation is 30%. The third and beyond consecutive is 50%. And so you have to be, or if you're 20 to 40 million greater than the threshold, it is a 12% hit. So that is what goes on. Don't let Neris walk. I agree with you. I don't understand why they, well, I understand why. It's not the Astros. It's actually Neris. Neris turned down the player option. He had an option to take $8.5 million. If I'm Neris and I see Montero has one good year and he gets 11 over 3 years and 11 per year, and he becomes the fifth highest relief pitcher, I'm thinking I'm Hector Neris and I'm worth a whole lot more than that. Do we have enough for Blake Snell? Nope. We don't hardly have enough to sign a Maldonado contract, which was $5.5 million last year. If they sign somebody, they're going to have to trade. They're going to have to trade and sign. They're going to have to trade a guy that already has a year or two on his contract and then hope to extend him out. But Altuve's on the books. Bregman's on the books. They are both Boris clients. Boris has said that both his clients want to remain Houston Astros. And Eric did take the position that he thinks that Alex Bregman's going to get paid more, or Jose Altuve is going to get paid more than what he's getting paid now. I don't know that that's going to happen. At his age, I don't know that they're going to pay him $36 million. There's no way he gets that much money at his age. And Jose Altuve would take a discount because he was paid for what he's done. I think he gets right at that, what he had, or a little less. And I think Jose Altuve would do that. You could front load or back load his contract. You could incentivize it. You can do different things. They can finagle those numbers. Matt McNeil says Snell will be in Philly. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Snell being in Philly? That would be crazy. So if they need a starter, why not go get Jordan Montgomery? If they need a backup catcher, why not go get Mitch Garver? Why not pick the pocket of the world champion Texas Rangers? Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, if you're serious, Jim Crane, about going back to the World Series and taking the World Series title out of Arlington and bringing it back to its rightful place in Houston, Texas, then why the heck not? Like, okay, go over the CBT. You're going to be selling tickets. I know people that are re-upping their season tickets anyways, and you're going to be building this park in 2 years. We know you make a butt ton of money on concessions. I mean, have you had a margarita at Minute Maid lately? They're extremely expensive. And so why not spend some money? Go get Montgomery. Go get Mitch Garver. Heck, go get Snell. Go get Mitch Garver. That's, to me, is easy. It's not difficult. Your job right now, yes, we're still the Astros. Yes, we're still in this golden era. But you know what? We got beat. And yes, Dana Brown, we did win 12 out of 20 games. But you know, the games we did lose to the Rangers are the ones that counted the most. The sweep in the regular season doesn't mean crap in the ALCS. We couldn't win at home. I would go get Jordan Montgomery in a heartbeat. He knows their pitching staff. He knows their lineup. Mitch Garver was a backup catcher. Why wouldn't you want that intel? I mean, if y'all were so bullish on Martin Maldonado or Dusty Baker was, why not be bullish on someone like that? Mitch Garver provides you a veteran catcher not at a huge cost, a $5.5 million market value. Hell, pay that guy $8 million a year. Give him a 2-year, $16 million deal. Why not? Okay, go over the CBT, whatever. Dude, y'all are making money hand over fist. Give me a break. I mean, ticket prices haven't gone down. I pay a ton of money for a soda. I pay a ton of money for food there. When I walk in, the tickets aren't super cheap all the time. They do dynamic pricing. I get charged double. And can we stop with the dynamic pricing for the Yankees? The Yankees suck as a team. Why am I paying more because they're the New York Yankees? Anyways, I digress. I got to get off my I have to get off my little soapbox here. But we got to go spend. The Rangers are spending. And it's rumored that Shohei Ohtani wants to go to Arlington. Please, baseball gods, are you listening? Don't let Ohtani go to Arlington. Now, I think the contract would ultimately be really bad for the club because that contract is redonkulous. He wants $12 million. There's estimated $525 million over 12 years, $44 million a year. That's insane. Okay. Yeah. Someone said right here, Jose, calm down, Brett. Calm down. I know. I don't have Eric here to like shut me down and move on. So I digress. But look, here's the deal. They're looking for a backup catcher. They may look for a starting pitcher. I just don't like this. We don't know if we want to go over the CBT. You let Cole walk. You let Springer walk. You let Correa walk. We still kept winning. How much longer do they think this window is going to be open? It's not just going to be there because we are the Astros. The Patriots run came to an end before Brady actually left. Brady left, started a new legacy for a couple years in Tampa, and rode off into the sunset. You don't want things to just drop off all of a sudden. You've got to keep the steam train rolling. And that's why I flashed that picture. I would love for them to flip this thing upside down and bring a Luis Robert Jr. Heck, bring Lucas Giolito. Just bring someone else. There are all kinds of guys. Look, right here, Mac McNeil says, get Hicks, re-sign Neris, bullpen complete, sign Gray, trade Jake and Urquidy for a starter. Wow, look at you. Matt McNeil is the new assistant GM for the Houston Astros. All right, you heard it here first. Breaking news. We've got breaking news here on the Astros show. Of course, I can't. This is so hard to do on my own tonight. I cannot find this soundbite to save my life, so we're going to play this one. Yeah, or this. Well, we want to hear this again. We want to hear this. We want people to want us. And, stars should want Houston. Stars should want to come here. Jordan, Montgomery, come hang out with us, man. Mitch McGarver. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Okay, no, speak up. We all agree, Brett. Thank you so much. I appreciate the agreement. Oh, Hicks. Okay, Chris says, okay, well, Chris just nixed your move. Hicks is garbage. Trust me, I've seen him play quite a lot. Okay, well, now we've got warring de facto GMs. Brett, what do you think about the Altuve contract situation? Do you think they extend him 100%? If you don't extend Jose Altuve, can you imagine if they wouldn't have let Craig Biggio play the rest of his career in an Astros uniform? Can you imagine what would have happened if they would have not let Jeff Bagwell play even his last beleaguered year in an Astros uniform? That would have been criminal. The baseball gods would have surely thrown a curse on this team. There's no way on earth that you allow Jose Altuve to go anywhere else, especially the way he's treated, especially the way that fan bases cheer when he's hit, boo him and call him cheater, and on and on and on. This guy is one of the greatest human beings on planet Earth, and I would be absolutely devastated if he were to somehow, for some reason, be sent off somewhere else. That would be absolutely heartbreaking. But our last segment, we're going to cover the starting rotation for spring training. Thank you all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us to get to 20,000. And remember that we got this giveaway going on. You still got time to get entries in, another 24 to 48 hours, and I'm going to shut it down. The Morgan Ensberg autographed baseball. It's right there. It's got an authentication tag on it that you can make sure it is authentic. And I'm giving that away. On top of that, I've got 2 of these Funko Pop Yordon Alvarez that I'm going to be giving away as well. We'll start that off probably the beginning of next week on Sunday's show. So get in. I'm going to close it down. Actually, I'm going to close it down Friday at noon. I'm just going to make an executive decision right now. So the giveaway for the Morgan Ensberg ball, just go to the community tab, find the picture that I just flashed on the screen, this one right here, and tell us who you are, where you listen from, and how long you've been listening. Y'all are making it very difficult for us to decide who wins this because there's only one baseball, and we value and love every single one of y'all. So good luck, and I hope you win. And if you don't, we got more giveaways coming. So he says, Chris says, I want that Yordon Funko. I already have the Altuve and the Breggy. Yes, I didn't get the Bregman. I do have the Altuve. And so, look, here you go. The starting rotation that we have going into spring training is going to be, well, it's any of these names, okay? Obviously, we know the top 2 is Valdez and Verlander and Valdez. Christian Javier. Then you have JP France. You have Jose Urquidy, and you have Hunter Brown. Those are going to be pitchers that factor into your starting rotation. Then you have Spencer Arrighetti, who at some point will probably get some starts. And then Dana Brown said they expect Lance McCullers Jr. and Luis Garcia to both be in Astros uniforms, pitching and contributing in July. And so you have 6 potential starters. You can have a 5-man rotation to start the year if you want. If Spencer Arrighetti does his thing, then you could see him make some moves to the major leagues. There are a couple other arms in the minor leagues, and we're going to probably bring on Lindsey Crosby here pretty soon to talk about the Astros that he thinks that we could see big things out of this coming year in 2024. So how does it, I mean, look, the rotation is not terrible, but because of the inconsistencies of Javier and the inconsistencies of, man, I'm having a hard time saying that, of Framber Valdez, to me, it seems more urgent that you get another starter. To me, you've got to get a top-end starter to help take some of the burden off of Valdez. You don't really need to take pressure off of Verlander. He is your seasoned veteran. He's going to be fine. You don't need to take pressure off of JV. But Framber really, I think that pitch clock really screwed him up, guys. Kind of like, I just thought of a Top Gun scene. Whenever Maverick and Goose when they encounter the MiGs, okay, when they encounter the Russian MiGs. So you got Goose and Maverick, and then you got Cougar. Cougar totally loses his mind. He's got the picture of his son that he's never seen and his wife there in his cockpit, and just the whole encounter with the Russian MiG honing in on him, putting the buzzer on like he was going to strike him down, totally just roasted the guy mentally. And so what did Cougar do? He turned in his wings. Now, I'm not saying Framber Valdez is Cougar or that Framber Valdez is going to turn in his wings, but that pitch clock did a number on him. And so I just really think that at the end of the day, you've got to get Framber Valdez lined up mentally. So your starting rotation's got to be JV's, got to be Valdez, has got to be Javier, top 3. And then I'm going JP France 4, and I'm looking at Brown and Urquidy to shore up that 5th spot. That's what I think will happen. Yeah, Valdez isn't himself, but I think Valdez will do some hard work in the offseason, and he's going to work unlike any other. Loperfido will, I think, touch Minute Maid Park this year. I think he'll get called up. But guys, look, I would love to sit here and talk. I could talk to y'all for hours. Y'all an amazing audience. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this solo edition of Locked On Astros. Always, only no matter what is going on in Astros world, we're keeping you up to date. Please, if you haven't entered in the contest, go do it. If you're listening, go do it. Go to YouTube, subscribe, enter the contest. It's a Morgan Ensberg autograph ball. This dude is a legend in the Astros world, and I want you to have the opportunity to win it. Yordon Alvarez Funko Pop's coming up next week, and I've got a ton of Astros cards that I still want to give away from my own collection, from my PC to you, because why? Y'all are the real MVPs. If I could vote for y'all for MLB All-Team, I would vote every single one of y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. You make this show the #1 Astros podcast on the planet, and I am out. Y'all have a good one. Go Astros.